I'm about to give you 5 simple tax tips that teachers can use this tax time. This is a part of my new series of 5 tax tips in under 5 minutes for particular occupations. As always, these are general tax tips, so you need to do your own research in your own situation. If you're unsure, contact an accountant or speak to the ATO about it. So the first one is home office expenses, and this is normally claimed under one of 2 different methods. So we've got the fixed rate method or the actual cost method. So the fixed rate method is much more common, and this allows us to claim a fixed rate per hour worked. So that rate is 52 cents per hour, and this covers for your electricity, your rent, your running costs of your house, and pretty much the running costs of your home office. So the way to keep track of this is you're meant to do a diary for a 4-week continuous period that is a representation of the full year. So you keep this diary, work out how many hours you're working a week, and then times that out over the year, and this will give you how many hours, and then you times it by that rate of 52 cents. Now this method does allow you to claim for some other home office expenses, so definitely do some more research into it, but it's definitely the most simplest method when it comes to home office expenses. The second one is self-education expenses. So these need to be related to your current job. So it needs to be education costs, so it could be course fees, or it could be travel to your course, or stationery or internet, etc. But it needs to be related to your current job. So an example for a teacher might be they may be doing a course that's working with children with disabilities. Or they could be doing something that's just around general teaching principles and trying to increase their knowledge in how to teach better. So these are different areas that they could be studying that would be related to their current job and therefore making those self-education costs claimable. So the third one is work-related clothing. Now this needs to be a uniform as such, and it needs to potentially be something that's got a logo on it. So if we took a school teacher, for example, that's got a polo shirt and it's got the school logo and they've got to pay for that out of their own money, then that's definitely going to be claimable. Now what's not claimable is plain clothes work, even if they're required for work. So we can't claim sports clothing that you wear to work as a teacher because that's not classed as a work-related deduction by the ATO. Now the good thing is if you do have work-related clothing, and even if you haven't paid for it, you might be supplied a school uniform that's got the logo on it, you didn't have to pay for it, you may still be able to claim laundry costs for washing that. So again, there's a few different methods you can use there, but typically there's a rate that you can claim per wash, and that's the easiest method. Now the rate for laundry is currently set at $1 per load if it's all work clothing, or 50 cents per load if it's mixed in with personal clothing. Number 4, which directly relates to teachers, is teaching aids. So teaching aids, teaching resources. What I'm talking about here is stuff that you're buying to do with teaching your students. So it might be books, it could be course materials, it could be stationery, all these types of things that you're using in your lessons with your students. This is definitely the most common deduction I think teachers have, and it obviously can vary a lot between how much one teacher spends to another. One thing you got to make sure here though is you're not including gifts that you're giving to students because they're not deductible. And the biggest thing with this is making sure you're keeping your receipts. Quite often teachers are buying bits and pieces throughout the year, especially might be during the holidays, they're getting stuff ready for the start of a new term. So make sure you're keeping all those receipts. And a good trick here is to highlight what is actually work-related, because quite often they might get a heap of stuff from Kmart and some is personal and some is work-related. So just give a simple highlighter, and that way it's easy to keep track of which ones were actually deductible. And the 5th one is union fees. So this is one that's quite common, but quite commonly forgotten, especially because a lot of people might have these come out of their pay before it even reaches their bank account. So make sure you've got your details up to date with your union. So you're getting the emailed statement with your total fees you've paid. Making sure you're keeping track of what that is. Don't just claim the same amount each year, because if your union fees are going up, your deduction can go up. All right, that's 5 simple, quick tips for teachers. I hope that's been helpful. If you're not a teacher, make sure you leave a comment down below on what your occupation is so I can cover that next. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and check out some of the other tax tip videos I have on my channel. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.